morning, my friends. This is a great day to be here in the shop. We've had some weather push through here, all kinds of sleet, snow, and even some ice. And they're calling for some more even this afternoon or this evening and even into tomorrow. So anyways, I think they make too big a deal of it sometimes. I think the weather channels have to be sensationalized so that people will watch and make them relevant. I think they have their place, but I think they make too big a deal of it. And then the stores are packed and everybody's out there buying bread and milk. You get there and there's nothing there. I usually don't go because I've never been held up for more than 2, maybe 3 days, and we've got more than enough to take care of. In fact, when something like that happens, I come here to the shop and have a great time, and I'm glad you came to join me. Today we're going to talk about something that I've had sitting here in the shop for a while, and that's gauges. No. Not that kind of gauge. These kinds of gauges. The gauges that will gauge grind or thickness of sheet metal. And this gauge here is really kind of neat. It's brass and it's got a little steel piece in there. And so I thought we would take and clean these up. This one here a friend gave me. It's a Starrett, and so they're usually pretty good quality. And I thought we'd take a look at these, clean them up, and talk about them a little bit. So let me bring you down here on the bench and we'll take a closer look. Here's this brass one. You can see kind of what it looks like, and I'll flip it over. I don't know if we can make that out. It says Swiss on there. This one here I think is a no-name that I bought for checking the grinds on edges such as chisels and axes and knives. And then this one here is another gauge that's for thicknesses. And it's interesting, it's got the numbers on this side, but then on this side it's got the decimals. And so this to me seems to be a pretty useful little tool. So I thought we'd take some time. This one here doesn't need cleaned up. It just happens to be in the category that I wanted to talk about, and I'll discuss it a little bit. But I do want to take some time to clean this one and this one up, and we'll see what they look like afterwards. I anticipate that they're both going to look considerably better.
right, we've got these all put together now and waxed up, much cleaner. You can still see marks and scratches and things like that on this one particularly, and even the brass one. So it's more, I'm not trying to get it to a mere polish. I just wanted to get it all cleaned up and looking really nice. So this one here is a gauge for grind for an angle, and these are all angles on here. Now you guys can help me here. This one here is a little different than that one. This one here, the larger the number, the smaller the gauge. This one here, larger the number, the larger the gauge. So these look like they're measuring in two different styles and two different types. And I don't know, you guys tell me if I'm saying this right. I'm just going by what they do with firearms, that this is a triple-aught, double-aught, and single-aught. But then it also has, right up in here, some aughts, some zeros. And so it's just very interesting to me, these gauges. I don't use these very often. This one here I use once in a while. But you can kind of get an idea of what you're supposed to be doing here if you want to find out exactly what this gauge is. Let's see if we can find, oh, it's not even going to register on there. So let's see if we can find, see if get it to register on here. There it is, right there. So I'd say that's a 2, maybe a 3. Flip that over, and now you got your inches, your decimals. And so it would probably be between a 265.265 and 265.0, or 250 and 265 1/1000ths. So anyways, you can check these gauges. Here is a thinner one, and see, it's probably, there it is, right there. There's no slop in that. Nope, there's no slop in there. That's tight. So it's a 0.093, and you can figure out exactly what you're working with. To find out what this gauge is, be right about there. So I just think these are cool. It's just a good quality steel, and they're from some time back. Now we could probably get this one to register here somewhere. Let's see what we have here. But I really would appreciate if somebody right there that says it's a 13. I really wish I knew more about these. Let me know. I'm sure this is in inches, decimals of inches, but let me know on this one and this one and why they're different. One goes up and the other one goes down. Let me resituate the camera and I'll show you how I use this one. So on this one here would be more for chisels and things like that. If I want to figure out the grind on my chisel, I can find which one of these fits best. That would be probably a 22.5. Oh, maybe it's a 27. No, it's a 22.5. So you can find those out. Now this one here, I have 2 of these round ones. And the reason I have 2 is because this one here I've modified, because on an axe you want it to be a convex grind right there. And so I have modified some of these so that I can set these on an axe and tell exactly what I've got going on here. So this one here is a pretty tight grind. This one would be a 20 degree, but this one here is for splitting. It's not for chopping. So this one's going to be considerably larger, and I think we're going to get to probably here, right there, 27.5, which is still pretty tight. Now on a maul, it would be even wider yet, but this here kind of helps me. I've ground the 25 and the 20
so that it's more convex and it will fit. And so this one here I'll probably continue to modify as I use it. The other one that I have that's like this, I strictly use for things like chisels and knife blades and things like that. So anyways, this kind of helps you know what kind of a grind you have on the different tools that you're using. So here's our finished projects for this video. There are a lot of different kinds of gauges. There's also feeler gauges. This one here is in really bad shape, and I'm going to save it for another time when we can clean it up. You got to be kind of careful when you're cleaning up these kinds of gauges, especially as rusty as this one is. What you don't want to do is change the thickness of it. And this one may be too far gone. I don't know, especially that one and this edge here and here. But I thought we'd clean it up, at least for posterity's sake. It's a Sears, and so one of these days we'll dunk it in some Evapor Rust and clean that one up. But for right now, these are the gauges, and I'm sure there are all kinds of others. In fact, a micrometer is a type of gauge. And you can even, some people I think even call these mics. I'm not really sure. Again, let me know what you guys understand, some of you who might be machinists or technicians on this, what the different numbers mean and why. And I'm sure as other people read your comments, we'll all be educated in that. It's kind of interesting to me, this one right here looks like you take something really thin and you can slide it down this slot, and depending on where it stops, that's what that gauge is, because it is a little bit thicker up here than it is down there. And just seems like a very precise tool. And that's the Swiss one. They're all precise tools, particularly these two, even this one, although I've modified that one some. But they're very precise. They're made out of a good quality steel. Yes, you'll have them move maybe a little bit with weather and heat and temperature, but they're going to be fairly accurate. The one thing is when you're gauging metal, the metal's going to be the same temperature as that. So if this has changed, so has the other piece that you're going to be testing. Well, this has been a great way to spend a cold day. It's been cold outside, but nice in here to be able to clean some of these up. I've really been looking forward to cleaning up this little brass one. And this one here that my friend gave me, I wanted to clean it up as well. It's a good quality little tool. And now we've got it all set up. We've got them waxed, so they should be protected. So let's give them a home over here on the wall. Now let's put this one right up over here. Once again, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining me here in the shop. I look forward to your next visit, and I'm sure we'll have another visit, another tool that we'll be putting together. I've got all kinds of stuff that's laying around here. There's a little sledgehammer, this little channel lock sledgehammer that I'd like to clean up, and so one of these days I'm going to do that. And then this thing here, maybe you guys can help me. What is this? Maybe somebody can give me a hint of what this is for, and one of these days I want to clean it up and do a video on it, and it would be great to know exactly what it's for. I've got a theory and I've got an idea, but I'm just not real sure. So if you know for sure, please let me know in the comments. So above all, thanks so much for spending your time here. I don't take it for granted. If you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up. If you know somebody else that might enjoy this content, please send them the link to the channel and have them come and visit us again here whenever we're putting up videos. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, so when we put up another video, you'll be notified and be able to come visit again. But until next time, as always, here's to you. Have yourself a great day, and God bless.